2026 NBA trade erupted ahead of Thursday's deadline, with teams making aggressive moves well before the buzzer. Now, the latest shock arrived on Wednesday, sending ripples across the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo remains the center of attention, with the Bucks reportedly listening to offers for their franchise player. Several teams are monitoring the situation closely, including the Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, Minnesota Timberwolves, Miami Heat, and Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, of course, the deadline has approached, and of course, it has passed the deadline, but further shocks may still be on the way. Despite interest, momentum points towards Giannis staying in Milwaukee Bucks. Other significant moves include James Harden to the Cavaliers for Darius Garland, Jaren Jackson Jr. traded from Memphis to Utah Jazz. There's also Trae Young moving from Atlanta to Washington, and Nikola Vucevic joining Boston from the Chicago Bulls. Now, these deals signal a flurry of activity as teams position for playoff pushes. Now, I've got Abayomi Ajowele right here joining us to discuss more about the situation right there in the NBA. Abayomi, as we have football transfer deadline day, we also have the same in basketball. And as of yesterday, my heart was racing because I was just hoping for something for Giannis, maybe moving to the Golden State Warriors. That would have been a great joy for me, but it looks like that deal will not happen anytime soon.
It's officially closed, and it remains Milwaukee Bucks. If I understand very well, I think because of this outside deadline, teams are looking to build for the future. And before we go, and let's say 3 of our Nigerian players are also involved in the transfers. Gabe Vincent moved from the Los Angeles Lakers to Atlanta Hawks. Abayomi moved from the Bulls to Timberwolves, and also have Trae Young moving from Toronto to Brooklyn Nets. These are guys of Nigerian descent. Of the 3 of them, Gabe Vincent was only the one who has played for us thus far. They moved. It just shows you that our Nigerian boys are also excelling in the NBA. So back to the Giannis trade. It was painful, especially for some of us who are Warriors fans who wants to see the Curry push for another championship this year. As he's aging, he needs all the help he can get. He was unable to get the Giannis deal done, and as a result of the salary cap. You know, unlike football, the financial cap in basketball differs. You cannot exceed certain financial cap. Like football, where someone can just wake up and put 185 billion, 200 million pounds on a particular player. It cannot work in basketball, and there's a salary cap. And the Warriors were very reluctant to let go of Jimmy Butler or Draymond Green, because for the deal for Giannis to pull through, either of Butler and Draymond Green would have had to be traded to Milwaukee Bucks. And Bucks were also asking for so much from the Warriors. Some reports state that the Milwaukee Bucks, for trade for Giannis, they wanted Jimmy Butler, they wanted Jonathan Kuminga, Brady Podziemski, Moses Moody, and first-round picks. That didn't make any logical sense. That would have been Golden State Warriors trading out their entire future just to get Giannis for now. And they ended up trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield for Porzingis, which some of us still find it very hard. Curry wants to win now. Porzingis is a very fantastic player. He's one of the best bigs you have in the NBA, but he's largely inconsistent because he's always unavailable. And that is what Curry cannot afford right now. Now, Warriors have lost 3 of their players. There's Jackson Davis, they've lost Buddy Hield, and now they've also lost Jonathan Kuminga. And only got 1 player in return in the draft, which is Porzingis, who is unavailable. And also remember that Jimmy Butler is out of the season. So Warriors looking for a championship now seems very, very unlikely. Another trade that actually shocked everybody was Anthony Davis moving to Washington Wizards.
Exactly.
We realize now that the Dallas Mavericks are currently counting their loss from the deal that sent Luka Doncic to Los Angeles Lakers, as Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell are now moving to Washington Wizards. But in hindsight, Dallas actually building for the future. They are trying to support Cooper Flag for the future. For Anthony Davis, they got 2 first-round picks, 3 future second-round picks. They got Chris Middleton, who is a champion in his own right. They won the championship alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks. They got AJ Johnson, Malik, and also got Marvin Bagley. So they have a fully stacked depth which is what they were lacking since the beginning of the season. They definitely cannot push for the championship this year. We know that, but they can build for the future, and all the teams are currently building for the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Wally, we talk about building for the future, and for the Golden State Warriors, for Steph Curry wanting to win another title, he's in his late 30s. It feels like he might not get to have the opportunity again with the Golden State Warriors, especially with the Giannis Antetokounmpo deal not working. Also for Giannis, it doesn't feel like the Milwaukee Bucks are even going to win anything anytime soon.
Yeah, the feeling with Giannis, who posted 2 days ago that, I mean, he doesn't have a pencil, but he's still drawing all of the attention, which, you know, I think the feeling, some are saying that looks like the Lakers might have told him to just stay put at Milwaukee till the end of the season, and they're going to take him. That's the feeling. And I won't be surprised if that happens in the offseason, because now that the Golden State Warriors have gone out with Kristaps Porzingis, it looks like the old chase for Giannis is done and dusted. You know, Kuminga has left, Buddy Hield also has left. So I think that the long game is Giannis will head to the Lakers, because the Lakers looks like LeBron James might be his final season as well. And trust me, it will be devilish to have Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the same team.
Definitely.
If you have those two in the same team, then, I mean, just go and sleep. Because I think that the NBA, there's going to be a dynasty that the Lakers are going to be. So I think that that's the eye on the future for the Lakers. But I also wanted to talk about James Harden to the Cavs. I never believed that move was mooted in the fact that he wants to win something. Once again, I joined a whole lot of people saying this is financially motivated.
I agree.
James Harden is always the guy who is moving up and about. There's no trade deadline without James Harden not in the news. He's moved in 4 of the last 6. You know, 4 of the last 6. But can he help Cleveland take that next big step this season? I don't know, because also James Harden himself, I'm sure Ajowele also knows, also clocks off in the playoffs. I can't remember one key clutch moment that James Harden has provided in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see what he, alongside Donovan Mitchell, might cook, you know, for the playoffs, you know, going forward.
All right, Abayomi, what do you think about that? James Harden, another move for him. He's like the Odell of the NBA.
It's going to be a very beautiful time in the East, to be honest. Cleveland are an interesting team to watch. We saw the push they made last season, and this year they still have their core in the team, aside from Garland, who's left. You need to look at the backcourt of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. It's going to be a shooting party in the East. The only issue I have is James Harden most times does not play off the ball. Neither does Donovan Mitchell play off the ball. The coach would have to find a way to settle that, to know who is going to be the first option on offense, who's going to be the second option on offense. But they have a real chance to push with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt. And do not forget, Cleveland, they have one of the best defenses in the NBA. They have one of the best defenses in the NBA last season, and they are taking that into this season. If they can make a push for the championship or the playoffs in the East, I'm sure they can defeat the likes of the Boston Celtics. They can defeat anybody in the East right now. And Wale had the good mention of the Los Angeles Lakers trying to push for Giannis in the offseason. But there's going to be a twist in the offseason, because LeBron has been a lifelong wish to play alongside Steph Curry. And there's also been a lifelong wish of Giannis to play alongside Steph Curry. You just might see both of them ending up with the Golden State Warriors in the offseason, because they want to make that final push for their championship. And where else, where best can they do it, if not with the best shooter the NBA has ever seen? The player who does not mind playing off the ball. The player does not mind sharing the limelight with other superstars. We see the struggles with superstars sharing limelight, but with Curry, any superstar can share the limelight. Curry, we saw with Kevin Durant, we saw it with Klay Thompson, we've seen it with Jimmy Butler. He's not scared to share the limelight. He's not scared to give off the ball to any of the players.
All right, so we look forward to all of these players who have made these moves, and we'll see how they can actually help their new teams perform better in the NBA. And hopefully, if some of them make it to the playoffs, we'll see how they can help their teams reach the point where they can get to win the beautiful rings that some are also vying for. Let's talk about Nigeria basketball now, as leadership is facing a legitimacy crisis after members of the Nigeria Basketball Federation, talking about the NBBF Congress, petitioned FIBA to approve fresh elections. Now, the stakeholders allege the current board has exceeded its constitutional tenure and is operating illegally. In a petition signed by Maxwell Kumoe, they asked FIBA to declare the board's tenure expired and authorize the National Sports Commission and the Nigeria Olympic Committee to organize elections for a new 2026-2030 board under the 2019 Constitution. Now, they accused NBBF President Musa Kida of failing to hold required congresses and board meetings, effectively sidelining governance. Although the 2022 elections were recognized, petitioners insist tenure began then, not at ministerial inauguration. With agreed reform timelines ignored, stakeholders claim the federation is now without a legitimate board. Abayomi, do we even have a drawing board to go back to when it comes to Nigeria basketball? Complaining about infrastructure, complaining about our sports not doing so well on the continent, even in the world stage. Until date, we're still complaining about elections to lead our sports in the right direction.
So I always say, I'm a propagator of the game of basketball. I propagate the gospel of basketball, Nigerian basketball, wherever I go. And I tell you, Nigerian basketball is one of the fastest growing sports in this country. And the growth of the basketball is largely due to individuals. Individuals have looked past the federation and they are hosting camps. In Nigeria, every year you have at least over 100 basketball camps hosted and organized by private individuals, ex-internationals, players of Nigerian descent who didn't play for Nigeria, who apply their trades abroad. They come back to Nigeria, bring shoes, bring basketballs, bring coaches to coach young boys in Nigeria. The NBA Academy in Senegal has Nigerians as one of the highest number of alumni from the NBA Academy in Senegal. We have Nigeria currently sitting third of descent in the NBA, people of Nigerian descent in the NBA. So the sport is growing without the help or support of the NBA. And then you've been there for 8 years. You've done your best. Leave. What their case is, they did not start anything till October. So they are waiting for October to hand over. But the question is, what you could not do in 8 years, how do you want to do in 6 months? You've done your best. There was a meeting with the NSC chairman, Olokpade, sometime in January, and he said we should go back to the drawing board and we should fix a date. As easy as that. Get an extraordinary Congress, get the Congress, gave us, we went back to the Constitution. Everybody saw the Constitution was out. Elections were supposed to hold on January 31st. Now we've not held the election. But the good part is, about a few days ago, chairman of basketball across the state with some other stakeholders, they've all signed the document to host an extraordinary Congress where they can then take further decisions. But as it stands, I know personally why these guys are here to leave. They want to see out the World Cup. The World Cup is sometime this year. They want to be the ones to take the girls to the World Cup before they hand over. They probably have their plans, operations, or enter proposals or what's not to get to the World Cup. So they want to see out that tenure before they leave. But to be honest, everybody is fed up. We want to see first leg, want to see first hand right now basketball in Nigeria.
All right, I'm actually fed up with the situation and hoping that we can get things right once and for all, because we have a lot of basketball kids out there who want to go pro, and the NBBF are not even helping issues. I remember a particular tournament that was held, a ball cave tournament that was held some months ago. And we saw how transformed the indoor sports hall, talking about the basketball court at the National Stadium, how it was transformed. And I'm wondering, why can't the NBBF key into things like this and ensure that basketball goes to greater heights in the country? But I'll say thank you very much, Abayomi Ajowele, for joining us today. Looking forward to more interesting conversations with you in the world of basketball. Thank you for joining.